Alright, this is a VOD review for TheLorax, and I believe this is a 2900 ranked competitive game. Okay, so off the bat, a couple of things. So when you first start playing, you need to realize, like in any game, you have to think about your support comp and the other team's support comp. So here, you have a Mercy and a Lucio, right? So those are the two worst support heroes that you could pick, or that you can have when you're playing Ryan. Literally any other support is better. Those are the two. Those are the absolute two worst supports. So ideally, you would have a Brig and an Ana. Those are the two best supports. At really high ELO, Lucio can be good to have if you're partied with them and you're coordinating well, like using the speed boost to maximize your advantage. That's really hard to pull off though, so usually that doesn't really kick in until like GM. Yeah, so Brig and Ana are your enablers, and you have Mercy Lucio. Now you don't know what the other team's support comp is yet, but you should know in 5 seconds here. So here, if your Lucio didn't boop that Ryan, you would have pinned him, so that was a nice little trick. But here, you should be taking cover and pressing shift to see what their support comp is. Actually, you can see them here, or you should just be paying attention. You can see the Ana and the Mercy here. So immediately you see the Ana, and you go, fuck. That basically means that your entire time playing Ryan in this game is gonna be being the bitch Ryan, is what that means. And if you don't play like the bitch Ryan, you're gonna lose every fight because you're just gonna get naded or slept, and you're gonna get out healed. Because they have the Mercy as well, so it's Lucio versus Ana. And if you would think about the utility and the heals that Lucio brings versus what Ana brings, like we just saw him boop the Ryan out of your pin, so that wasn't good. You're probably gonna get like 16 heals per second versus like 200 if she nades him and shoots him once. Like it's. So here you're playing. You're doing all the right things, except that you have. I don't think you realized it yet that you have a Mercy Lucio versus an Ana. So like right here, if that Ryan, well, this team's kind of throwing right here because they could easily have killed you, and at a higher SR, they will kill you right here. But somehow you live, and again you're pushed up way too far, and yeah, and you finally get naded here, and again they're throwing because that Ryan should just be holding WM1 here. Yeah, but you survived. And then this use of Shatter was very questionable, because I was gonna say that not only can the Ryan block it, the Zarya can just stand here and bubble and block the entire Shatter, and that's exactly what happened. She blocked the Shatter. So if you were gonna Shatter, I would have walked over here to the right of the cart and then shuttered under the cart, because that conceals your actions a lot better. Or alternatively, I would have just shattered these two. Like instead of shattering this way, I would have just stepped over here and shattered them. And then it takes two of their team out of the fight. And even then, that's not really a good shatter. So I would have maybe even just considered holding it there. Because if you shatter a couple of people and you don't follow up on the kills, it's really kind of a waste of a shatter. Unless you're like canceling out some strong ults. Yeah, so Luckily for you though, they nanoed there. The Ana really shouldn't have done that. And again, you're playing really aggressively for someone who has a Lucio for main heals. Yeah, and you're just getting hammered to death, basically. And that's unfortunate because your Lucio beated, but he beated too late to save anyone on the ground except the Symmetra. What else? So actually, I think you did this last time too, but your Mercy just died, right? Here you are pushing aggressively across the bridge, like you're all the way up there, and your Mercy's right here spawning, right? And your Symmetra's ulting, which she shouldn't be doing. So you guys are taking a 5v6 here, and needless to say, you're not gonna win a 5v6. So you have to be aware of where your teammates are and whether they're dead or not, and you have to call, like your job as a main tank is to make sure that you're taking team fights every time. So you should have called to wait for your Mercy, and you should have waited and spawned for your Mercy. And then here your Mercy gets booped off. So again, you're not gonna win this fight. There's literally 0% of you winning this fight. And now he shattered your Lucio to death. So yeah. As soon as your Mercy died here, I personally would have either jumped off or turned around and charged back to spawn and called for everyone else to do so as well, because you're not going to win that fight. There's literally no way. You could put 5 Overwatch League players in here against 6 plats and they're still going to lose. And you might be thinking like, oh, that's not possible. Like they're so much better. No, like 90% of the time you cannot win a 5v6 ever. So continuing to go in after your Mercy's dead is just you're just wasting 20 to 30 more seconds dying and spawning. That could have just been 10 seconds if you just turned around and waited for your Mercy to respawn. Yeah, and you're just feeding them ult charge. So here you have your second shatter, and you just shatter a shielding Reinhardt and a bubbled Zarya, so that was questionable. Yeah, and attempting to charge the nano Rein is good, because a lot of times you know you're not going to win the duel, so you just want to take him out of the fight for a bit. Okay, that's a huge mistake. Dude, you got up to the Ana, the enemy Ana, which is like a situation that almost never presents itself. You should have just killed her here. Like you should have just dueled her. Even if you died, you should have just dueled her. Even literally just sitting here and like keeping her from healing her team provides so much value for your team. But instead of killing her, you walk back to the fight. Oh, she's shooting you in the back. Yeah, and then you die. Yeah, so it would have been a way better play to kill the Ana there. I don't know why you didn't decide to kill the Ana. If you're good, you can put your shield up to block the nade and the sleep, and then it's just a free kill. Just 2 swings and a fire strike. That charge was questionable. At higher SRs, you were gonna get punished for doing stuff like that. Yeah, nothing you could do there. Just let him ult. Unfortunately, did your Zarya grab? No, she didn't. She switched. Oh, she switched from Ball to Zarya. Okay. Yeah, so you're just gonna. Yeah, they used both EPL silts and grab, so just die here. Now you have a Moira, so you can play significantly more aggressively. Which for you is like means that you should play about as aggressively as you've been playing this entire game. So you do the charge again, and he just shattered your team, I think. Luckily the Cole stayed up, because if he shattered the Cole, that's like game over. Solo shatter on the Zarya, and then Lucio boops her out of your charge. Dude, you gotta stop with these random ass charges, dude. You're lucky that Ana is dog shit, because if she was good, she would have slept you, naded you, and then you would have immediately just gotten eaten alive by the enemy team. And also, did she just nano? Oh, he got pulsed while you nanoed. Big fire strike. Shit, okay, keep doing this. Okay, so this is the thing, right? So it's in these kind of moments that I find that Plats and like Diamond, like up through Diamond is like people don't know what to do. Like everyone is on a different page. So here, your Tracer was way overextended. Like it's actually okay for all 5 of you, like put Lucio on point and all 5 of you to be up here. It's actually okay to do that. However, you decided to stay back here, and your Tracer is way overextended, and your Moira is overextended, and Zarya is a little overextended too. So if you make the decision that you want to stay here, then you need to call to your team that you're gonna hold this corner, and then you have to say get back to your team. If you're gonna hold here, then you need to tell your team, trust me, Lucio stay on cart, everyone move up to the choke. But neither of those things happened, and now your team is just gonna get staggered here. Yeah. And this is like the worst possible team fight situation that can happen to you. Oh, and now you're more wasted Cole. And you're wasted beat. You're all dead here. Yeah, like there's no surviving. I don't know why. Like that's not your fault, that's your team's fault. But if anything, you should have been, as soon as your Tracer and Zarya died, you should have been like, alright, everyone just die. No ults, everyone die. Like you need to make that call, because the brain dead idiots on your team, like this person right here and your Lucio, are gonna waste ults 3v6. And now with a minute and a half to go, you have Shatter. Yeah, like I cannot stress enough how big of a mistake that was to use the beat and the call. Like that's like throwing tier of ult usage. I'm honestly surprised that would even happen at Plat. That's something I would expect to happen in like bronze and silver. You're purpled here? Yeah. So whenever you're playing against an Ana, you always have to whenever I'm swinging, I'm not looking at the people that are in front of me. I'm looking at the Ana in the back. Like whenever I'm swinging, and then when I see her throw her nade, I just shield. You have to do that. You have to do that 100% of the time on Ryan, because if you get antied, like most of the time it just means you just die. I would shatter into the cart there. Yeah. Luckily he charged like an idiot. That's a good time for you to shatter under the cart when they nano, because your first instinct when you're Reinhardt and you get nanoed is WM1. Plus, yeah, and then you know the Koreans and other people are in front of you. I would have just shattered him and charged him off the map. Try to charge him this way and get him off the map. Also, your Tracer died, so you're not gonna win this team. It's very unlikely you're gonna win this team fight. Yeah, I don't know why he shouldn't have shattered. This guy's not a good Reinhardt. And then he charged, which is like the absolute worst combination of things you could have done when nanoed. There's no point rising you here, because you're just going to feed them 550 HP more Volt Charge. Oh, actually, your DPS are doing work. I don't know how your Tracer killed 3 people when the Kree was still up. But we take those. Okay, this Rhine is actually throwing. The other Rhine, I mean. Very questionable shatter. That was a panic shatter. And then you forgot to charge back at the Rhine when he charged you. Luckily he missed, but if that connected, you would have died there. I don't actually have many complaints about your shield usage or your positioning. That actually looks pretty good to me. It's just a little. It's just stop charging stop using your charge like you're using them now. Stop getting antied like that, like you just did here. Um, and so yeah, you're gonna have to watch the Ana more, and you need to work on your shatters and work on calming for your team. So I get that you were trying to farm some ult charge for your supports here. Let me just tell you, if you do this in Masters, you will die in literally 3.4 seconds. You will get melted. If you're caught up here, they will kill your shield before you reach the corner, and they will kill you before you turn it. So just, if you're gonna take damage, stand here and poke out and take damage. Don't be up here. Yeah, you're overextended. Your supports aren't with you. So here, Let's take a look at where your supports are actually. So that's partially on them because your supports should be up here. Oh, your BAP's back here. But then he drops. And he lamped your Echo? Okay, your BAP is just terrible. Oh, you got rezzed. You're gonna die here though. You shouldn't be swinging in front of 4 people. You should just be shielding to try to stay alive. Yeah, that's just your team being bad, really. So you have another touch here. I want you to use more of them. So I don't know if you know, but if you're holding shield up and you use M1, you can actually free your camera to look around. So you should be doing that to see where your teammates are. So your supports are still spawning, which puts you in a very, very uncomfortable position. Your Mercy will get you in time. Your BAP should like charge up a jump and then jump up here, and then he can start healing you, but I don't know, he's really bad, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. Yeah, and they just grab you off the point. He had window. Did he have window during that fight? The beginning of that fight? No, he didn't. He's still coming out of spawn here. If he used it right here, right as the lamp died, where is he? Oh, he's over here. He shouldn't be over here. He should be on top of here. And then, if he put that window up, like if he was standing up here and he just put the window right here and healed you, you guys would have survived that. That's Zarya should have just jumped off. Just feeding you all charge. Yeah, your Echo didn't need to ult either. Okay, so you're pushed up way too far here. You're not holding the... Well, all of you... I'm surprised the BAP's up here. I'm pretty sure the BAP's gonna die within the next few seconds. Unless he has his lamp up. Yeah, you guys should be, like, using this corner for some poke, and then you need to hold this corner. You're way overextended. Also, there's only 3 of you. Where's... Oh, the other 2 up there. Where's your Tracer? She didn't spawn? Yeah, I don't know, but either way, you guys are... This is not a team fight. You're down 1, and you're in a terrible position to take this fight. Yeah, and just as I expected, your Echo gets caught. Again with these... Dude, why do you like... Stop shattering around corners where the... where it can be so easily blocked by anything on their team. This one got blocked by a bubble, dude. It didn't even get blocked by the Ryan, it got blocked by the bubble. If you're gonna shatter, you should be out here, where you can get good coverage and they can't see you shattering. So that was a waste of shatter. And then you get shattered. Yikes. You're extremely lucky that Reinhardt is so bad, because that was a free pin on you. You should not have charged out of spawn like that. If they're pushed up that far, you should not. You would never want to use your charge where someone on the enemy team can see it, basically, unless you're like doing it to kill someone or whatever. Because if you miss, or like I don't know, once you use it, it's a free pin for the other Rein. So luckily for you, he missed. Otherwise, you would have died there. Solo shatter there, Rein. And then your team's Grav and your Echo and Tracer clean it up. But that was it's a costly team fight. They should have held their Grav. That's already a panic grab. It's so hard. Yeah, if they held their Grav, they're in such a good position here. Basically, the best thing I can say for you is that you're lucky the other team is so freaking bad, because this is like this whole game is like who can throw harder. Again with the random charges, dude, and now you actually get punished. Lamp got used, and by the way, that lamp missed you, so it didn't even he shouldn't have used it in the first place. Your team's getting justiced behind you. Yeah, dude, that charge, that missed charge lost you this team fight. You really need to stop doing that. You're overextended. Yeah, and you're gonna die. So now you're just getting staggered all the way through. You should not have pushed out a spawn that aggressively. Again, this is a case of you not knowing where the rest of your team is and not calling to regroup. And I can tell you right now, even just grouping up consistently will automatically get you out of plat. This is a long ass game. Yeah, you're overextended again. Your whole team is basically. Yeah, so you have to think about your positioning, and you have to think about where your team is constantly. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be playing tank. Well, everyone really like every player should be doing that constantly, but it's especially important on tank, just because you're so reliant on your supports. And you swap to Winston. Should jump straight up here, yeah. So that was 2 team fights at the end of that defense there, where you guys just lost because you were way over, like half your team was way overextended and the other half was not. That's something that can easily, that has nothing to do with mechanics, that has nothing to do with your skill as a player, it has nothing to do with your team composition, it has nothing to do with your cooldown management or ult tracking. That's just simple math. 3 cannot beat 6. Oh, okay, so he YOLO'd that charge in. I would have charged after him and pinned him in that corner. Stop with the charges, dude. If he charged you right there, you're just dead. You're lucky that Ryan is such dog shit. I would have shattered that res and not let it happen. Actually, it doesn't matter. Good block. Bad shatter. Never shatter. Well, I mean, not never, but you typically don't want to shatter right after someone else shatters. And also, all the shatters that you're going for, although most of them aren't connecting, are like solo shatters. So I think you really, 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 really need to work on your shatter management and your charges. Like, you gotta stop with the YOLO charges, dude. Okay, you got the nano. Again with the charges, dude. Why? They have an Ana and a Zarya and a Kree. You're not gonna get the charge off. He'll get bubbled, you'll get flashed, you'll get slept. All of the above. Finally a good shatter. Again with the random ass charge. Okay, when you shatter, you never ever ever charge directly after shattering. Because there's almost never. There's very, very, very few situations where that's desirable. So like here, instead of charging, what you want to do is just walk up. Well, first you want to fire strike, and then walk up and swing. And then right before it ends, right as they're getting up, then you charge one of them to confirm the kill. And that way you get the maximum amount of damage in. This doesn't do anything. Like, it's probably not going to matter. You're probably going to win the team fight anyway. Yeah, but yeah, now you're left cleaning up. Tracer's overextended again. She recalled into their backline. Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, your Tracer's... I don't know what the fuck she's doing. Okay, so you guys pushed it pretty far. It's unfortunate that your Tracer just fed there. And again, standing out here. So he shattered and pinned your app. And you whiff it. Yikes. You guys needed that. You shouldn't still be fighting here just because you're down. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't really back up either. So you just have to slowly back up while fighting. But that's just a hard situation to be in because you're down your BAP, so... Again with the random charge that actually did not connect on that Rhine, by the way. Yeah, you just threw that fight. That team fight was lost 100% due to you doing that. Okay, so now you have to recognize that you have 2 fights before they reach the finish, and you just need to win one of them. So that should be your goal. Okay, that's a huge pick on the enemy Zarya. Oddly enough, I would have charged the Rein there, but you didn't, which is weird, because I feel like this is like a perfect opportunity to charge him. Why? Because the lamp is out, so you're going to charge him out of it. Second, their Zarya just died, so there's no bubble. You can see their DPS are getting rolled over there, and the Brig is on the other side of the cart, so she can't shield bash you to interrupt it. So this is the perfect time to charge this Reinhardt. But you don't do it, and you die. And then I don't know what the hell your team is doing back there. Your BAP got solo shattered through the window. You're getting... Yeah, that res is never gonna go off. This is actually still really good for you, because now, well, as I say that, you need to go in. You need to be aggressive here. This is favored for you. You spawn a lot closer. Very questionable shatter. Very questionable charge. Dude. Man. Like, it worked out in the end. But, jeez. Like... That's... Yeah, like, actually, that won you the game. But do not... You gotta stop this. You gotta stop this. Every shatter you do is on the enemy Reinhardt. Right? So... As a general rule of thumb, you should be shattering people who, you know, aren't Reinhardt, because Reinhardt can block it and almost nobody else can. Also, there's a Brig right here. If this is higher ELO and you shattered, she would just shield bash you out of it and cancel it, and you would just get rolled. You'd probably get charged after that and then die. Somehow, or she would flail you and then kind of like boop you up a little bit so that you're not touching the ground, so then everyone has time to like shield and hide. But she actually gets shattered. Oh wait, no, that's the BAP, yeah. And then, why charge the BAP? Look how low his HP is. All you have to do is swing at him once, dude. Look at him. He even dies before you charge him, because the Echo is like, oh, all I gotta do is beam him for like a quarter of a second, and then. Look what you're charging into. Like, if you, like, she can flail you and boop you off. She can shield bash you and cancel your charge. She can bubble herself or the Brig. So, like, what are you charging into? Right? But luckily, the Brig doesn't know how to play Brig, so she just dies immediately. Yeah, so I guess in conclusion, work on all of your cooldowns except for your fire strikes, which are fine. Work on your charges, work on your shatters, work on rallying your teammates and making sure that they don't feed or are out of position. Make sure that you're not out of position, as you were at least 3 times during this game, which cost you 3 team fights. You being out of position cost you 3 fights, and then you randomly charging cost you 2 team fights. So overall, you lost 5 team fights directly due to your plays. So like I pointed out a lot of things that your teammates were doing wrong in this video, which inevitably there are in every game. But that's 5 team fights that you could have changed based off of what you did. That's not even counting all the team fights where you could have asked, like, called for your team to back up. That like I'm only counting times when you yourself were out of position and feeding. So that's 5 team fights. This map would have been over a long time ago if you won those 5 team fights instead of losing them. Yeah, so that's kind of the little things that you have to take into account if you want to be able to climb past Diamond and Master. I always say this, there's There's virtually no difference in mechanical ability between a plat and a master. And everyone doesn't like that's what people don't seem to realize is like it has almost nothing to do with your mechanical skill. It has everything to do with your game knowledge and your awareness and your game sense. So those are the things that you want to start working on at this point if you want to climb through diamond and get to master.